Right, this is part 4. We're going to be taking a look at glandular epithelium. And so we're talking about a gland is going to be made up of one or more cells that makes and secretes an aqueous fluid. So they are going to be classified by the site of their product release, endocrine or exocrine, and then how many cells forming the gland. Keep in mind, endocrine we're just going to define, and then for exocrine gland, we're going to take a look at exocrine unicellular and exocrine multicellular. All right, so first we'll go over these two, then we're going to break the exocrine down into unicellular and multicellular, and then further break that down. All right, so these endocrine glands are just simply going to be ductless glands that produce hormones. And that is the end of our discussion with endocrine glands, simply because we're going to be taking a look at that in 169. Okay, so now exocrine glands are much more numerous than endocrine glands, and they secrete their products onto body surfaces or into cavities. These can include mucus, sweat, and oil. And when we talk about, remember what I said, exocrine glands? So these, just to be clear, these are glands that have ducts. So we have our unicellular gland is the goblet cell, and then multicellular exocrine glands are made up of a duct and a secretory unit. So now we're going to further break these multicellular exocrine glands down based on the duct and based on how they release their products. So multicellular exocrine glands are going to be classified according to their duct type and the structure of their secretory units. Now, the textbook will further break down these duct types. Simple is just going to be unbranched, or no branches, right? So their duct is just a straight shot. Compound is going to have branches. And that's where the textbook will further subdivide these into like a tubular, tubio-alveolar. We're not getting into that. So multicellular exocrine glands is that duct, because it's an exocrine gland, so it has a duct. Is that duct branched or not? Simple or compound? And then we take a look at how do they release their products. Okay, so how they release their products is either going to be via exocytosis, you should know these examples, or via rupturing the gland, and you should know this example. You don't have to worry about any other examples. So merocrine, do it via exocytosis. Holocrine ruptures the cell itself. And if we take a look here, we can see here is an example of them releasing it via exocytosis. Okay, so these are going to be merocrine. I'm going to try and redo that. And then these, since they rupture and these cell fragments contain the products, this is going to be holocrine. And as we would expect, since they're rupturing the cells, the mitotic index down here, it's going to be going through mitosis more quickly, or quicker, to be able to have these cells migrate, rupture, and then continue that, that migration. Okay? And that's the end of this, and the end of epithelial tissue. Next one, we're going to start on connective tissue.